Welcome to the Crystal Library, a pocket-sized portal into the magical, mysterious, and sometimes misunderstood world of crystals. I'm your host, Ashleigh, and each week I'll guide you as we explore one enchanting stone, its history, lore, healing properties, and one easy way to invite its magic into your everyday life. Whether you're crystal curious or deep in the woo, this is your space to learn, explore, and expand your connection to the mineral realm, one glittering gem at a time. So let's open the library and see which crystal wants to speak today. Welcome back to the Crystal Library. I'm Ashleigh, and I am so excited to have you here today because today's crystal is one of the rarest and most delicate stones I've ever worked with. And I'm talking about Blue Halite. This is not a crystal that just shimmers under bright light or necessarily demands your attention. Blue halite is subtle, it's quiet, and it carries the kind of power that only reveals itself when you're willing to slow down and listen. Blue halite is a salt crystal shaped by time, pressure, and deep environmental memory. It dissolves easily. It cannot be cleansed with water. It doesn't tolerate being mishandled. And maybe that's exactly why it's so special. I only own one piece of blue halite, and I acquired it while I was on a trip back in October. Our family had traveled to Cabo San Lucas, but we really love on Thursday nights, there's an art walk in San José del Cabo, which is in another, you have to drive a little bit from where our resort is. We had to drive about an hour to get to San José del Cabo. And they have this beautiful metaphysical shop in their arts area called Lo Sagrado. My first time going to Lo Sagrado was a couple years ago. Then they moved locations to like right in the middle of the arts area, which was really cool. And this place is just the most beautiful, curated crystal shop. And the woman that owns the space, I think she just does a really great job of making the shop feel beautiful but not overwhelming. I'll link Lo Sagrado's Instagram and their website in the show notes. But it's such a beautiful metaphysical shop. The space itself feels almost devotional, like a reminder that some objects aren't meant to be owned casually, but really honored. I had recently learned about blue halite before we went into the shop. And so when I saw that she had some pieces there, I was thrilled and I knew immediately that I had to get a piece because most crystal shops just don't really have it. So that's why I was so thrilled when I found it. So in this episode, we're going to talk about the history and lore of blue halite, its deep connection to ancestors and ancient sites, how it supports psychic safety, and why, perhaps most unexpectedly, it has a way of attracting beauty into our life. And so that's one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about it during this time of year. My word of the year is opulence, and I feel like blue halite is a very opulent stone. This is a crystal for the liminal. It's for the sensitive and for those who walk close to the veil. So what is blue halite? It's a rare blue variety of halite, which is salt. So you could, when I was doing research for this episode, some of the books that I have, they show pink halite, and they didn't really talk too much about the blue. So I had to do a little bit deeper dive on this particular stone. So blue coloration is caused by natural structural change, not dye. It's extremely fragile and hygroscopic. It's a symbol of impermanence and reverence, which I love. It's just something that you know that you have to be really careful with. You're holding the stone and you know that the slightest thing could change it. Let's see here. So salt is something that is often used in rituals. So this was a salt that was used in ancient rituals for protection, for preservation. It has this boundary and kind of threshold symbolism to it. And blue halite is a salt of depth, of water, and of memory. If you have it, it can trigger recognition at ancient or sacred locations. So maybe if you're going on a spiritual journey somewhere, you want to take some blue halite with you because it could help trigger those different experiences when you're at those spiritual spots. It supports past life or ancestral awareness without allowing all of your emotions to truly flood in. And it's really ideal for travelers, people that are going on pilgrimages, and people that are very just generally sensitive and empathetic. It's just this beautiful, soft energy. Like when I look at the stone, I feel like I see the sky or the ocean or any of those calming energies just right there inside the stone. Sorry, I got distracted there for a second. As I do, as I always do. It's a really gentle stone to use when you are maybe doing some spirit work or you're trying to make connections to ancestors or deceased family members or friends or things like that. It helps overcome fear of, let's say, ghosts or different types of presences that could be going on. It has a very stabilizing energy. So it doesn't just invite spirits in. It helps kind of stabilize your energy and allows you to call in what you feel comfortable calling in. You may want to place it near other crystals or spiritual artifacts just to kind of stabilize their energy. It provides like a stable, like passive cleaning, right? So if you have certain tools, let's say, for example, you love a Ouija board and you like to use your Ouija board for spirit communication. Well, maybe you could put your piece of halite near your Ouija board when you're not using it, because it will constantly cleanse the area and the space around that board. And it can use its energy to empower the other tools, around it. Like if you have it and you put it on your altar, like maybe some of the other tools are little bits and bobs and things that you have on your altar, it will also kind of empower those objects as well. It increases your spiritual power slowly and safely. It enhances discernment over intensity. It can unexpectedly attract beauty, such as in that it could attract different types of art, or maybe attracts different types of meaningful connections, or you could have these beautiful, gentle, graceful moments. It attracts beauty in all different forms, right? It's not just about manifestation. It's like this aesthetic, emotional grace that you can experience through the stone. So blue halite is something that you never want to cleanse with water. You want to avoid humidity. You want to avoid sunlight. Sunlight could really strip the color out of it. It's best kept near an altar or your journal or some sort of sacred heirlooms in your home. You want to handle it briefly, but intentionally, right? So like it may be something. When I purchased this piece at that shop, she gave it to me packed gently in a velvet bag. And so it's not something that I like rub in my hands because it does feel very fragile. So typically I will just keep mine either here on my desk because it's so beautiful to look at. I just love holding it up to the light and looking inside of it and seeing all the different blues. And I don't know, just something about it just feels so mystical and magical and enchanting. But then also to think that this is just literally a piece of salt is also kind of crazy too. Blue halite reminds us that not all power is loud and not all magic is meant to be permanent. This is a crystal that teaches emotional honesty, psychic steadiness, and reverence for the past, for the unseen, and for what moves quietly through our lives. If you're someone who feels deeply, senses more than you can explain, or finds yourself unexpectedly emotional in ancient places or sacred spaces, blue halite may feel like a familiar companion rather than a new discovery. He doesn't call across the veil. It doesn't demand contact. It listens And sometimes when we listen to, what finds us isn't fear or intensity, but beauty. And I think part of going forward in this whole year of Big Crystal Energy, I just want us, and I want to encourage you to look outside and find a little bit of beauty, because life can be very intense right now. There's a lot of scary things going on in the world, even within our country. There's a lot of sadness, heartbreak, frustration. There's just a lot going on. And it can feel so overwhelming just to turn on the news or read some articles or look at things online. It can feel very scary and overwhelming. But my ask is that if you can find a piece of blue halite, get it for yourself. Get it to use in a little bit of a meditation, and use it just to have a little bit of beauty in your life, because wanting beauty is nothing to be ashamed of. Enjoying beautiful things is nothing to be ashamed of. It's just part of life. It's part of why we're here on earth, to have fun, enjoy beauty. I love to just find beauty in the small things. It doesn't have to be some big grand whatnot. Like, most of my most precious favorite stones that I have are very small pieces. Like, for example, I have this little teeny piece of pyrite. It is so precious and beautiful. And then it's got this calcite mixed into it, makes it look extra sparkly, and it's not just this huge piece. So anyway, thank you for spending time with me in the Crystal Library. Until next time, trust your sensitivity. It's part of your magic. Bye. Thank you for visiting the Crystal Library. I hope today's stone offered just the magic you needed. If you loved this episode, share it with your favorite mystic and tag me on Instagram at mystical.mama.ash or at Big Crystal Energy Podcast. And if you're feeling generous, leave a 5-star rating and review. It helps this magic reach more curious souls. Until next time, keep your crystals close and your intuition closer.